Hi, thanks for coming to LRGA Curves today. Make sure you smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in. Go ahead and ring the bell so you can get notified when I upload a video and so you can become part of the beautiful curvy community that we're growing over here in the YouTube streets. Okay. Well, thank you for bearing with me today. I had to come. I have to, at least before the week gets out, I have to do the recaps of the Housewives because that is part of my thing over here. And I did make this channel all because I wanted to share my thoughts and make connections, but because specifically the Real Housewives of Potomac, and we're going to be going over the Real Housewives of Potomac. I have lots of pads. We're going to be going over the Real Housewives of Potomac, and then we're going to do New York, and then we're going to do Salt Lake City, and then we're going to finish it up with Beverly Hills. We were on here earlier this morning already with the follow-up to Love and Marriage Huntsville, to the follow-up for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So that was interesting. Let's see. To Love and Marriage Huntsville, yeah. So there was a lot going on over there. Let's see. So I wanted to share with us. I can put this picture up in the meantime. Share screen. There we go. Yeah, so I hope somebody had their bell rung so we can get some people in here today. Already 2 minutes in. Thanks for coming through to LRGA Curves. Make sure you're smashing buttons, ringing bells on your way in. We're going to be recapping. We're doing the Housewives Roundup today. It's not going to take too long. It's going to be like 15 minutes per franchise about. So we won't be much longer than an hour once we get started. Thanks for coming through again. Now, let's see. There we go. Okay. So, if you build it, they will come. If you build it, they will come. Okay. So we have the Real Housewives of Potomac was where we'll start because it's coming on again tonight, and hopefully it'll be better. All I have to say about Potomac mostly is Mia is not an idol. Like, I don't know why people are idolizing Mia's behavior. She's a liar. She's a hypocrite. She's manipulative. She's a gaslighter. I feel like her storyline is harmful to her minor children because they're going to have to look back at this one day and they're going to see that mommy was a hoe. They're going to see that mommy did not finish one thing before she's continued the next thing. And they're going to see that some people allegedly, such as myself, pontificate of the possibility that it could have all been a money grab with dad. Yeah, the kids are going to get to see all this and make their own synapses and come up with their own ideals of what they think mommy and daddy went through. Yeah, because they were putting it out there in this really messy way. They as in Mia and G, because she's claiming that G has mental health issues. So that means you were doing elder abuse, ma'am. If you've known that G, who's already 20 years your senior, also has mental health issues, everything I say is for allegedly and for entertainment purposes and opinions. So, yeah. If you've known this for all this time and you keep on being like, I'm dealing with mental health issues, and you knew this, then I would venture to say that this is a form of elder abuse, putting him through all this, making him become a dad, making him question, knowing, telling him that you were having abortions from other men for him to repeat it. He's not the problem, ma'am. You're the problem for doing that shit, to have this mentally deficient man let you tell it, have this mentally deficient man put you in have this mentally deficient man put you on TV and make you go through this and financially abuse you allegedly and lock you in rooms. And I mean, if he's doing all this to you, then we'd have to think, oh, what is he doing to the kids, right? Because that's crazy. What would you possibly be doing to the kids if you're doing that to you? So I think that Mia should take a break from reality TV. And while this is a form of reality, I don't think that it's healthy to uh, use as entertainment. Excuse me. And if mental health issues are G's problem and you've been with him for 12 years or whatever, plus you've been with Inc. for the simultaneously 12 years, then I would venture to say that you probably just about as crazy as what you've been around for this much time. That's, hey, I'm just doing logical math because I call my husband crazy all the time, but I know I am equally crazy, if not crazier, in a different kind of crazy way. You know what I'm saying? So, in as much as you get what you are, you also have to realize that you give what you get. Yeah. So, anyway, so I think Mia needs a break actually, because she's abusive in her friendships, even to Jacqueline, to take her on a shopping spree to abuse her. And then Jacqueline always trying to be so overly sex undertones and all of this thing with Mia, like it's Girls Gone Wild. By the way, did you know the guy from Girls Gone Wild, the one who used to have the video and go around getting all those minors to lift their tops? He's like currently on the run. So that's just to say that your business model is not only antiquated and outside of your age range, Mia and Jacqueline, but it's also found to be that it was basically a form of trafficking. So yeah, there's that. I don't know that the storyline also with her cop husband, boyfriend, parental per PP. I'm not really into that story, but how Mia is abusive towards her is that she brings her around, embarrasses her, uses her, and then love bombs her by taking her shopping and saying that. And then even in this taking her shopping, it's more abuse because I'm only taking you shopping because I think you don't look good. You know what I mean? And telling her that. So, but I mean, kudos for actually trying to do something about it. But I'm not. But Mia is no fashionista. She needs to buy her clothes in a size that fit. In my opinion, I mean, she's literally pushing 40. She does the sex kitten thing with children. Is like, maybe Jacqueline has the right idea. Nothing's wrong with Jacqueline's clothes just because you can't see almost her nipple and almost her twat does not mean that Jacqueline doesn't know how to dress. But you had to get a dig in on Jacqueline's again, because like I said, you're abusive to your friends. Okay. So, and then to your friend Karen, just last week, you waited till when you took the ladies to your bi-coastal house in North Carolina, Mia, you were all, oh, Karen, 3 years ago, you butt dialed us and tried to embarrass Karen to your friend again. So you tried to embarrass your friend, right? But then when Giselle does the same exact thing to you that you do to everybody, then you go so low, Mia be lying, as to bring her children into it. Now, I myself think that Giselle uses her children in a this earring is always flying out. It uses her children for a storyline because we don't see anything Giselle has going on except for when she's making up companies and not telling us the follow-up. Or in this case, I've never heard of a brand so much. LaDom's candles didn't even get this much play. We've heard GNA mentioned. I mean, they're like what, 6 episodes in, and we've heard GNA mentioned like 5 of the 6 episodes. Okay. They weren't doing that for Wendy and her candles and her talk shows and her professorism and her punditism. These 2 ladies are getting very much rewarded for their colorism tactics against Candace and for them orchestrating assaults against Kay. They're getting very much rewarded with their brands, okay? Because, yeah. And for these ladies to, Mia also brought up Karen's DUI and looked up the charges and read them on camera for her friend after she had already embarrassed her friend to get back at her friend because her friend spoke truth to your other friend who you like to abuse, Jacqueline. So you see how Mia is just abusive and toxic everywhere she goes. It's like tentacles of abuse, lies, and toxicity, in my opinion. And yeah, and it's like, I think somebody should take you shopping too, Mia, because I tell you that when I almost see your nipple in every freaking episode, it's too much. It's too much. Because it is. But then you have the nerve to want to take Jacqueline shopping, who has her own style. It's very low key. It is very mom. It is very like I might see somebody I work with in the streets. It is like I might see somebody I go to church with in the streets. You know, it's a bit conservative. I mean, literally, because if she doesn't have a nipple, almost pop out. So you need to take her shopping. See how like, so you're semi-abusive, yet you are also very with the shiz until it's your turn. And then you bring up Giselle's children and talk about how Giselle allegedly says to you that she didn't want Mia to bring it up on camera, but oh, I caught boys sneaking in the back door on the Ring camera while we were out of town. So basically saying that her daughters are a little, you know, hey, that's a little racy, but you're 18. You already know what's going to happen, you know? And at least if they're not home, they're not getting trafficked, hopefully. Hopefully. But also, the way that Mia went there and had the nerve to say, talk to me privately before you bring it up to people. I'm like, does she know what a pot meeting a kettle is? Or the pot calling the kettle black? That's crazy, Mia. In every episode so far, hey, Dustin, how are you, sweets? In every episode so far, Mia, you have taken either a dig, spilled tea they didn't want spilled, or tried to otherwise embarrass all of your friends so far while putting a lot of things in your mouth. So that too is very Girls Gone Wildy. Like you're always like, she's always like that with everything. And I'm just like, Mia, can you stop already? Anyway, then who else was in the episode? Stacy went to mediation. And you know, we found out more from Stacy, season 1 Stacy, and her position in her divorce than we found out about Ashley and her forehead full of lies in all of these seasons. So I say kudos to Stacy for being very honest and forthright and for us finding about her from the jump street instead of her dragging out this imaginary divorce. Okay. And then we have Ashley, whose producer must have told her, look, you've been getting divorced from Michael for 6 seasons now. Come to find out, she hasn't even filed divorce paperwork, because when she does, it immediately sends her to mediation, which who else had to go to mediation? Oh, the new girl has to go to mediation. So she's about to take your storyline, Ashley. So now hurry up and get to mediation to have something to say. But we still don't have anything to say with Ashley because her freaking husband, Gullum Michael Darby, who's known to the show as these, I don't even know if they're fully divorced yet. I think I saw something come up in my feed this week that they might be almost allegedly divorced finally from Michael Darby. Yes. Who you would go around the set on camera and grab unsuspecting male producers' asses and fondle their buttocks. And Ashley Darby and her forehead would excuse it. Remember the first time she had to excuse it? She told us it was because he was Australian. And in Australia, people aren't so uptight about having their persons groped and molested. Yeah, remember she told us that? Remember? It was an Australian thing. That was the first time. And then it was, how many stocks do we really have in stock? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 5. Okay? Either allegations or situations where Michael Darby, Ashley Darby's husband, possibly ex by now, Ashley Darby's husband would be on the be in hotel rooms with ladies on photo. They're taking pictures of his back, which is very telling because he has like these dimples in his back. And then Ashley's excusing that away, having to come to the table talking about, I don't want to swing anymore. I know that's how we met, but I'm a mom now. And these boobs are my kids now, so I don't want strangers sucking on them all the time. I don't feel comfortable with strangers sucking on my kids' feeding devices anymore. So I'm going to have to take a pass on our swinging lifestyle, Michael Darby. So could you calm it down some? And I don't remember Michael saying, yeah, sure, because it was followed up with another picture in a hotel room. And then remember he went to Ibiza and tried to accost Candace Dillard Bassett. There's a video of it in my archives. Check it out. Yep. He sure did. He certainly did, Michael Darby. And now come to find out from Ashley, after 6 seasons of getting divorced from his butt, that he don't want her to mention him. Ever. Like forever. Yeah, he doesn't want him mentioned. Squeeze me, bro, but you're part of the footage. The 8th housewife has you. Arms extended, grabbing buttocks. The 8th housewife has you, red-faced, sloshed, offering to suck the peen of Juan Dixon. Allegedly. No, what Robin said, you said that you wanted to have Juan Dixon's sausage in your mouth, and you didn't send her a cease and desist. Candace says that a male escort says you're one of his main client and one of his main paying clients, and she gets dragged off to court for the same amount as Ashley's new house that got put into the LLC. I'd love to hear about that more, Ashley. How's the house part of the divorce settlement in the mediation? I'd like to know what you ended up with, Ashley, because you sure didn't want that house to go anywhere. And then we also have Ashley and Michael Darby. Yeah. Suing, saying that there was no footage. But then Ashley testified against Candace at a fight she wasn't even at, you guys. That's how I know that there must have been footage, allegedly, at Monique's house that Monique must have allegedly mysteriously gotten rid of. The cameras weren't working in that section of the house. Wink, wink. Right, Ashley? Oh, yeah, the cameras weren't working in that section of the house to go with this producer's story that your husband yet again extended his arms to a butt that wasn't his and squoze. Is that a real word, squoze? I just made it one. We could use whatever. We could say whatever we want to say. I just said that Michael Darby squoze an ass. I sure did. Because he got sued for it and it was on film, and the eighth housewife can show us in perpetuity the same amount of time that he don't want Ashley Darby and her forehead mentioning his ass. So who are the children of these big foreheaded kids? They're very cute. I love them. But they do kind of look scarily like Michael. And Michael is like Gollum to me. I just can't get Gollum out of my head when I think of Michael because he's just so pervy. I mean, going around grabbing asses of men that aren't yours repeatedly, even after getting sued, is kind of like high key pervy and creepy, in my opinion, allegedly. Okay? I mean, do we not get to have opinions anymore? Well, now that 45 is about to be 47, we can say whatever the fuck we want, people. That's one good thing about it. At least we might get freedom of speech back. I'm trying to look for the pros, even in the silver lining amongst these clouds. Okay? But hi Q, it's good that you're here. Thanks for being here. Did I already say that? So yeah, so come to find out that Ashley's Michael Darby, remember she was Darby's Barbie? Who's Barbie? Michael Darby's Barbie. So how is she supposed to answer these questions in the future if she can't mention your name or speak about anything you've done? How is she supposed to even live? She has to reference her children, the situation with their father. Who's their father? A big question mark will pop up on the screen. Oh, you guys might have thought that was Martell Holt. Let Wanda tell it. Those of you who know. Anyway, yeah, you guys, smash that like button, smash the subscribe button on your way in, ring the bell so you can get notified when I finally go live, because sometimes Mama's late. I'm on colored people's time. Yeah. My birth certificate says that was I colored? No, my mother was colored on hers. Anyway, so that's almost all of Real Housewives of Potomac. Oh yeah, except for that Stacy found out that her name was on some stuff and that there was these accounts and that this had been going on for this much time. And so Stacy found out that what Karen said was true and that she didn't know her boo as well as she thought she did. You know, a lot of things come out in divorce. And unbeknownst to the other parties, okay? And look, us women, Vogue used to tell us to keep our stuff on the QT, right? As it turns out, they must have been telling the men the same thing in GQ. Keep your stuff on the QT and throw a couple of things in her name, because all these housewives have the same issues. They find out at the divorce that he owned a team. They find out at the divorce that all the properties that went bankrupt for wire fraud were in your name. That was what you signed, darling. Okay? Ashley isn't over Michael Darby because she doesn't have enough. She didn't get enough. I feel like Ashley would be over Michael Darby like that. Like that. If she had gotten the amount of skrill, cheddar, money that she wanted to out of this partnership. The restaurant was his. I don't know if she got anything out of that. Even if it went bankrupt, it was a tax write-off, so that still benefited the empire. Tax write-offs benefits empires, believe me. Believe me, they love the tax write-offs. When you get to a certain threshold of income, you need some more tax write-offs, okay? And having to close a business is a fantastic tax write-off if it's done within a certain amount of time in the right way, against all the other assets you have, getting to write off a whole entire freaking business that failed. And then you got to ask yourself, did he really want that business to thrive anyway? Who the fuck was interested in eating Australian food in the middle of Washington, D.C.? Is there like a subculture of Australians? Are there Aboriginals in Potomac that he would want to open up an Australian flair restaurant? The only thing I like from Australia is I love Aussie pies. They have these things that I've had before called Aussie pies. And actually, you know, my granddad Pat, we used to call him, rest in peace. He used to live in New Zealand. That's not Australia. They get real mad when you mix them up. So I guess that's not on subject. Anyway, Stacy found out a lot of stuff. And Giselle was also trying to say that during, hey, Mademoiselle, thanks for coming through. She was also trying to impress on Stacy some knowledge about divorces and things because she had gone through the divorce. And you better believe me, I knew where all the coins for Pastor Peen were, for Pastor Peter Pumpkin Eater. Now he's married again. Yes. Okay. And it looks like she's going to have to be visiting the estate for her children now that he's included a new wife. That's going to be on the upcoming episode. So now let's go over to pick a thing. You guys tell me in the chat. Thanks for being here today. That's pretty much Real Housewives of Potomac. Oh yeah, the only other thing was that Karen met with her daughter Raven, and Raven said what we all are thinking on this, on real life and in planet Earth. When you're around some friends and you're not doing so good, and they sit around and seem to cheer and gleefully talk about your current not good situation and gossip amongst themselves about your foreseeable future on the outside of prison walls, you know, and it all has to do with this horrible accident, right? So there's that. So Raven was like, look, anybody that's not for your well-being, Mom, they're not your friend. And Raven is mature enough to know that truth. Okay. So now who should we go to? Beverly Hills, New York, or Salt Lake City? How do you guys want it? Okay. We get a 1 for Beverly Hills, a 2 for RHONY, and a 3 for Salt Lake City in the chat. Which ones? Does anybody have any input? Does anybody have any input? Does anybody have any input? A 1, 2, or 3 in the chat, and I'll go to the next one. Okay, let's go to Beverly Hills is in the house. I love an activated Dorito. I am here for an activated Dorito. For the stressed out cigarette smoking Dorito. I'm here for her. I'm here for her. Did you notice that her accent seems to have gotten way normal? The more stressed out she is, the less she has her little accents that she used to have. I noticed it. It's like the real Dorit is coming out. Will the real Dorit please stand up? I think she is. I'm not here for Dorit. Have you seen the sneak peek yet? No, I haven't seen it yet. I am here for Dorito because I do feel like Kyle needs to get told about herself. And I do feel like Dorito is the person to tell her about herself in that situation. Even though she's part of the Fox 4-5, I still feel like when they get at each other like this, I'm here for it in that regard. And not letting Kyle manipulate her further for her benefit. Kyle started all of this stuff. None of Kyle's reasons are valid. And I was here for Dorito telling her in real time, like Candace Dillard Bassett. She pulled a Candace Dillard Bassett. She was like, basically, the line's always moving for me, Kyle. The line is always moving for me, Kyle. What's it going to be next, Kyle? What's it going to be next? I'll wait. Because I know it's going to change, Kyle. And so you're going to need to fucking listen, Kyle. I was here for all those moments with Dorito. I really was, because Kyle is full of shit. Kyle is full of shit. And I'm not sure if her and Maurice are running game on us or not with their come sit down. I have an apartment. Do you want to come by? Your stuff is still here. I'm turning your room into a closet. I'm just not sure. And now all of a sudden she's shooting with her daughters. Every chance she gets, there's a scene with one of the Umansky girls. And I'm just like, really? I don't know. And she seems just way too anxious. You know, Kyle is high key, has anxiety issues. She has that little thing that she does. She does all these little things. She's high key anxiety, right? And I'm feeling like the amount of anxiety she's displaying to us is not just Mauricio. And so when Dorito is getting it, I'm like, that's who she feels she's over enough to talk to like this and to say these things to. And that's another reason why I'm on Dorito's side, because Kyle, you're not over anybody. And Kathy's here to remind you. Oh, and I was here for Kathy dropping off those ugly hats to everybody. Those hats are atrocities. She's like, it gives you height. And it also makes you look like you're doing a comedy stand-up routine with Steve Martin. Yeah. I think he used to wear a shade lampshade on his head. One of those 70s comedians used to do that. Terry Garr, Lily Tomlin, Steve Martin, one of those used to do something with the lampshade. And maybe Kathy's stuck on it for that reason. She's like, oh, I love it. They're all the rage in France. Well, I heard France is having to leave a number of African countries for their colonial ways. So I am not willing to believe that they know everything about everything, because you shouldn't be a colonizer. So that's a no on that hat. But maybe it's a chic, maybe they're trying to do a chic straw version of a bucket hat. But I'm kind of not here for it. You know what hat I'd appreciate more is the old school 70s bucket hat that used to get made out of, somebody would crochet it with beer can. So it was like aluminum and beer can hats. Did you guys ever see those? Now that's a bucket hat I can get behind. Okay, you got to be careful. It'll cut your head or your hands while you're putting it on. Don't get hit in it, right? But no, I love the hats. But not to wear. Anyway, but I loved how she was riding around with all those pillows. That is so prissy. That is so prissy to live. Can you imagine living the life that is so prissy? I'm here for it. That you need 8 pillows around you when you drive because you need things that soft. You're used to that level of comfort that you have 8 pillows around your person while you drive for your sheer comfort. Like, I don't know many people that in real life take time for their sheer comfort like that when they're driving. I've seen a couple people with those massage balls attached to the back of their chair. I've seen a couple people with just like, the pad or that lower lumbar, cushion thing. But 8 pillows is pure luxury. And I would say one of the displays of self-care that I am here for. And I might start borrowing that shit, Kathy Hilton. Now that's something I'll borrow, but you can keep your hats. Okay. But I also might try your caviar on potatoes, even though that's very you're not supposed to eat it like that. I don't know. They say real caviar eaters only eat it out of the pearl oyster spoons. Yeah, they're not trying to really put it on a lot of things. But that one person told me that potato was a definite no, as far as a true caviar person. But then we have Meredith Marks, who will eat caviar off the floor if she needs to. And I'm not sure how true that is to the caviar game. Anyway, back to Beverly Hills. So we also had Dorito let the ladies know that PK and her are in a much different place than she thought. And I think PK might pop out soon with another new girlfriend. And it's going to be Dorit when he met her. So he might keep her in her 30s. I think she was like, they're 10 years apart. They're not that far apart in age. But Dorit and him met when she was in her 30s. So I bet he pops out with a new 30-year-old blonde bombshell who has all the time to um, just fawn over him and be his arm candy and, oh, yes, PK at every turn, because Dorito's not playing that role for him anymore. And because she's not playing that role for him anymore, he told her, we're not going to be talking 5 times a day anymore, and then cut her off completely. So now she's going on the girls' trip and she's all verklempt because the nanny's going to be with the kids because PK's not talking to her and doesn't care that the nanny's with kids instead of him. Because he already was spending all his time everywhere else but the house when he was planning for it to get robbed, allegedly. That's allegedly, but that's the rumor. Okay? Kathy Hilton is a Trump supporter. She hangs out in West Palm Beach all the time. I bet she is. I bet she is. That might be why she puts the caviar on potatoes. But I don't care who she supports, you know. I feel like, okay, do I have to care who she supports? I guess it would tell me, like, it could lend itself to how you'll treat me as a person if you support a person who does the things that 45 does. And contrarily, if you support a person like the lady who didn't win and what she's done to communities, you know, and contrarily, if you support the person who's on his way out, who just pardoned his crack smoking son and didn't even pardon any of the people who were still in jail from his 1994 crime bill after he implied that he would make things right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what happens when you pick devils. When you pick devils, then you do kind of have to question, like, why were you supporting that? How can you support a person that supports that? You know, how can you support a person that supports genocide, ethnic cleansing? How can you support a person that calls what Russia is doing wrong, but what the other people with blue stars is doing is right? I don't know. So, in that regard, I get what you're saying as far as bringing up her Trump supporting ways. Um, but I still like her on the show. She's good entertainment in the meantime. What else happens in Beverly Hills? Oh, Garcelle's son is becoming a model following in mommy's footsteps. I am here for it. Talk about a legacy of fineness. Yes. And her son had all the angles. He was blue stealing the hell out of the camera. He was all blue still. Not one smile, all angles. Look, I feel like that's my angle. There's an angle. I promise. Kathy Hill. Oh, I already read that. I want to know why Black people turn against their own in a millisecond. All of these Black fans are turning against Garcelle for Dorit, aka Karen. Cannot stand Kyle either. Yes, I've been seeing a lot. I mean, there is some people in these YouTube streets that are definitely melanated who bash Garcelle like she's a baseball and they're up to bat. They bash Garcelle. She can do nothing right and gobble up everything Dorito does. You're right. I've seen it with my own eyeballs, heard it with my own earballs, and I don't understand it either. I like Garcelle. I feel like she's genuine. She's down to earth. I'm sure they've left a lot of things on the editing floor with Garcelle, but I feel like she's shared a lot. And I've heard people imply that, oh, Garcelle hasn't told us anything about her life, but hey, she told us and you weren't listening. She was redoing the house over on the beach. We could get back to that. Are you paying attention? She's executive producing, directing, and writing shows. There's a lot she's doing, and it's even more than Kyle. Kyle's been working on American Dream Daughter or whatever it is for like 8 seasons, and here comes Garcelle, and what is this, her 3rd or 4th season in, and she's doing these big multi-production deals already on Lifetime. And meanwhile, we've been waiting for 1 episode from Kyle, but people who look like me and Garcelle are questioning Garcelle's reality and what she brings to the show. I feel you, mademoiselle. I feel you. There's a lot of turncoating lately because they were also arguing with me about whether or not Kamala was black. We don't have to get into that. Mad at a real black person over a questionable black person. Yeah, I mean, there's that. So I would say that there's an amount, the chemtrails are still in full effect, and whatever frequency is out that makes black people not want to participate in the lifting up of black people most times, instead of tearing them down for especially for colonizers, talking about Garcelle pulled the race card with Dorit. No, bitch, Dorito needed to be called on the carpet in real time, or you're going to have the world thinking that white girls can walk around telling black ladies they're attacking them for interjecting in a conversation. And she didn't even feel like teaching Dorit, educating Dorit, but that was a teachable moment, and I was here for it. But then other people are like, oh, it's too woke. It's too this. I'm like, no. You need to keep up with the times, people. You need to call things out in real time. That's the only reason soap operas exist, is because you don't nip that shit in the bud when it first comes up. The only reason All My Children, General Hospital, As the World Turns, and As the Year Went Around, The Guiding Lights existed was because things would steamroll and get out of control because people didn't nip their shit in the bud and get honest with it in real time. That's one thing those soap operas taught me. I was like, ooh, I never want to live like a soap opera. That shit is tiring. I'd much rather nip shit in the bud and be honest about my thoughts in the real time. What's wrong with that? You know? What they say? The sneak peek is coming episode is despicable. The way Dorit speaks to Garcelle is atrocious. She acts like she wants to do something to Garcelle 4 times. Oh, I see. I didn't see that. See, because I watch on Peacock, and on certain shows on Peacock, the next thing will start spinning and you can't really see the full last part, you know? Dorit is very high-key offensive to me. But I'm here for an activated Dorito. I'm here for her actions, but I don't necessarily like Dorito. You know what I'm saying? But I do like that she's getting at Kyle. You see what I'm saying? So I'm here with you on where we see Dorito. I'm here. We're here. We see each other. Okay. And we see Dorito. So I'm not saying I like her but I'm saying I like her actions this season because it's semi-real. As far as I can tell, she can't hold it in. But then again, I did also hear that her and Kyle are fine now. And I think the season is over. Is the season over and they're fine now? Oh, isn't that very convenient? Isn't that very convenient? So if that's true, then they might have been playing in our face like the people on Beverly Hills do. Let me see. It's on YouTube, the sneak peek. I'll check it out. Hey, sis, did you hear that Teddy Mellencamp was living with Kyle? Yeah, I heard that she's living with Kyle and sticking up for Kyle on her live podcast with Tamrat Judge. And yeah, so I did hear about that because she don't have nowhere to go because she was in the hay barn smashing that other lady's husband in the hay barn. And yeah, and he had a husband and he had a wife at home and she was smashing him. And I think the wife just had a baby or something like that, allegedly. Yeah, swinger. They all have pineapples in the front yard. We didn't see. Well, now I'm going to be looking real hard in the back, see who has pineapples, because pineapples is a universal swinger symbol, allegedly. Yep, it's not just a fruit. Nope. It's not just a colonization tool in Hawaii. Nope. It is a symbol of whether or not you're down to swing. That's, hey, look it up. Check out your Urban Dictionary. Some people suffer from Stockholm syndrome, loving their captors. Yep, let's call it like Stockholm syndrome. Yeah, it is a syndrome, definitely. They need to get their minds decolonized, basically. Decolonize your mind, man. And that's what I'm loving about Bose, is her unapologetically melanated love for herself and how she's coming into the group. And I feel like Garcelle, I love her. And I feel like Black people wanted Garcelle to be popping off like this and da 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 da. But that's not Garcelle. Garcelle is who Garcelle is. She's classy. She's not just gonna go down and say everything's pop off worthy. But they were like, she's not acting Black. I remember when she first came out, and because she wouldn't get angry, and I appreciated her reserve and not being the angry Black woman. Ever have I ever seen Garcelle be portrayed as the angry Black woman? She has not given them any footage for them to recut as her as an angry Black woman, in my opinion. And I'm like, kudos to that. Kudos to that, because you know they love to cut it up in a harmful, stereotypical type of angry Black woman way, and reducing it to anger when it's anger is one of the emotions that you feel over the situation, which is on top of betrayal. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm loving Bose, and I'm loving how she's coming in this season. And I love that her hair is on so freaking fabulous. And I love the texture of her hair. For the weave wearers and the wig wearers, we know a yaki strain when we see it. And she has that refined yaki strain where it has that slight crimp in it. Because, like, if you see my hair, it's like, even though it's not straight, it has like it has like a crimp in it, even when it's from that C4 getting the spiral, getting straightened out as much as possible. It's still going to have that crimp in it from that coil. And so I appreciate her not having no silky straight hair in her ultra melanated hued head. I am here for it. And the rest of the melanated sisters need to take a note and go support Bose line and start incorporating the hair that Bose is using into their own wig and weave lines, because silky straight is an illusion. And as much as I even yearn for the silky straight sometimes, I just wish that there was a wig cap tight enough to take my 3 feet of lock and compress it to my head in a way that I wouldn't look like a cone head with a wig on, and like rock some silky straight, you know. But now I would rock Bo's hair more than a silky straight, because Bo's hair, she has a hairline coming out. And look at the marketing girl. Look at the marketing goddess that is Bo's. She's 3rd episode in and already dropped hair. What noobs do you know who come in with their market ready product except for a marketing goddess like Bose? Okay, I'm here for it, Bose. Some of these wives get on the show and start looking for shit to do. She came, she gets introduced to the thing, and now she look on her Instagram. Now she dropped her hairline. Yes, she did. And now she's it's the same hairline that we're loving on set, right? Like, I am loving that crimp. If you look real close, and also like Stacey in Real Housewives of Potomac, if you look at Stacey's hair, how it has that like crimpy wave, like a soft curl. I love that. I love that. I want Uba to not rock a silky straight ponytail with her naturally crimped hair pulled back. She needs to rock a Bo's ponytail because that'll match her crimp. You see what I'm saying? Let's see. Yep, Stockholm Syndrome. Mel NYC Reviews is in my house. What you say? It's a happy Sunday after all. Thanks for being here, Mel. You know I love you. Thanks for coming through. Amen about Garcelle. I love and adore Garcelle. This is a Garcelle friendly zone. And I think her sharing her son's stories and them kind of glossing over it like that she stood the test of time already. And I'm here for Sutton and hers relationship. I heard Erica was talking about Sutton and Garcelle aren't giving their real lives. Bitch. Is that not the stolen earrings calling the kettle black or what? Okay. Please, can we even get to can we finish the conversation with Erica about what happened with her marriage and at her house? All we know is she left in the middle of the night and put Pretty Mess on hiatus, okay? But was still rocking the earrings, cussing people out. But we don't know what was going on behind the scenes because she couldn't talk about it because it was in litigation. But she has the audacity to say that Garcelle, who we know she's redoing a house, we know she's being an actress, we know she's a mom, we know she's looking to date, we know she's working, we know she's traveling, we know she was getting an award for being a philanthropist, humanitarian. We know all that, Erica. The only thing we know about Erica is that she's a sex vixen, another one of these ladies who's a woman of a certain age and is pretending to still be a girl gone wild. Yeah, and Erica, while we're talking about what we know about people's lives and don't know about people's lives, how about we find out about your son, Erica, who you've never mentioned on the show? Talk about not knowing what's going on in people's lives. Huh. Your grown son, who's a policeman, I believe he was, or something, since you've been on the show. And I think that's why you said you couldn't bring him up on the show, is because it could do something to his thing. But so it's fine for you, the overseer, to leave stuff off the show. But Sutton and Garcelle need to bring some more. Please, bitch. Sutton brought Merce in her purse, as you put it last season. Merce was in her purse. What did you bring? Except for sarcasm and recycled outfits. Okay? I'm telling y'all, you need to leave Garcelle alone. And I hope Garcelle and Bose become fast friends and that Bose ends up joining the Sutton and Jennifer Tilly circle. I love Jennifer Tilly. I love her sister, Meg Tilly. I love the Tilly sisters. I'm a woman of a certain age. I grew up on the Tilly sisters. They were both excellent actresses, in my opinion. And I liked a lot of their movies. I sure did. I sure do. And who doesn't love Chucky? The little scary doll, Chucky. That's what the Jennifer Tilly currently does. The current Chuckies that are out, she's like directing and producing those along with that Simpson money she has access to. Because like she said, who would have thought the Simpsons would have went on for 1 trillion years? Right? And so I love her as an addition to the cast. Yeah. So I'm here for it. Let's see. Oh, wait. Ooh, lots of words. Let me see. Yes, I like Bose, but I have a problem with her. Yeah, her co-signing with Dorito right now, maybe she hasn't watched the show. Maybe she's coming in like, until you treat me a certain way, which I can appreciate that, getting to know somebody on your own and everything. But she did kind of cozy immediately up to Dorito. And maybe later on, and maybe after how Dorito acts in this next episode, she might pull away. Because if it's really as despicable as we're going to see, you know, there aren't too many sisters that are just going to stand by and let a white lady cuss another sister out without thought or feeling about it. You know what I'm saying? So, or, yeah, we'll see how it plays out as far as that right now. But cowtailing up to Dorit. But I think producers and Andy had something to do with trying to clean up her Karen-esque behavior. Yeah, I bet the Blue Stars had a freaking meeting about it, and they were like, oh, because remember by the end of last episode, by the end of last time when Dorito had to be held accountable for her Karen-ish behavior, she ended up coming back with the I'm Jewish, I've been persecuted too thing. Oh, really, Ramona Singer? That's a shit Ramona did at the Black Shabbat when Ebony K. Williams, who must be a mother by now. We need to do some research into that. She has to be a mother because she was pregnant at the same time that Candace, we found out she was pregnant before we found out Candace was pregnant. So Ebony K. Williams must have had her surrogate child by now. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going. Reviews. Do you ever go to Connecticut? I don't know. No. Stacy RHOP in this picture is stunning. Yeah, she's gorgeous. This is one of her confessional looks. I'm here for it. And I love her wavy hair look. And then she has this red look where her hair is straight and she's in red. And I was just talking about Silky Straight, but it looks great on her in that one. Yeah, but I think they should do a lot more of the curvy stuff. I love you more. If there was a link. Oh, yeah, I'm on this kind of live. And I didn't set it up that way. I'm sorry. Meg was fab in The Big Chill, right? Are you watching House of Villains? Yes. Oh my gosh. I want Tiffany to win hella bad. And I don't know why they didn't kick Larsa off instead of Victoria. Victoria was annoying, but Larsa's way more annoying. And she is another one that knows the power of white woman tears, knows the power of women crying. And so she hates seeing another woman cry because she knows immediately they're about to get all the attention in this piece. And so that's why she's always so mean to people that are about to cry. Remember when Gertie came to Larson, she's like, I have cancer. And she was crying. She's like, what? I'm going to cry too and being all a bitch. Yeah. She's like, gets triggered by other women by having to feel for other women. I feel like is a trigger for Larsa. I don't know how her daughter is going to survive her. I'm mad they're letting Erica slide. Yep. That's what I'm saying. She's not doing nothing. She's not doing nothing. And for her to have the audacity to get into interviews and talk about Garcelle and Sutton not doing the most, along with sharing their life, please, 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 whatever. But yes, House of Villains is good. I want her back on my screen full time too, every year. Teresa's getting voted off next episode because it's a double elimination. They just did the little thing for it. It's a double elimination, and they got rid of Victoria, and then they did the ranking of most villainous to least villainous, and they were like, this isn't Mom's House. This isn't how to be a house mom. This is for villains. You're out of here. And Teresa got voted off right then, you guys. It's already out on the preview. They need to give Tiffany Pollard back her diamond, a mojito, a peach, or something. She would have all the bitches on all the franchises running. All of the bitches on all the franchises would be running. Tiffany Pollard can hold her own with anybody. Anybody. Actually, I want to see Tiffany and Larsa get into it next. That would be a good one. That would bring Larsa all the way down to where she needs to be brought down to, I believe. I hope we get to see that. I hope we get to witness that. They need to give her son. Where does she even live? Isn't she in New York? And doesn't she have a fiance on top of it? So I think that would be a great idea. Yes. Hey, Amanda, what's good? Thanks for coming up. Girl, no one can say, yeah. Well, I wasn't going to say the whole word. I'm just going with blue stars right now because I don't want to get in trouble. They make you sign all kind of shit these days. And some of it can have, you can't have any anti blue star BDSM in it. boycott, divest, sanction, or talk negatively about. You can't have thoughts of your own about Blue Star situations after Kamala's husband, the Imanoff guy, and Joe Biden's wife, the Jill lady, were in charge of the anti-Semitism department for the last 4 years, including what is the definition of anti-Semitism, that they allowed to be an ever-changing definition, so they can just include anything in it at any time. So now if you say that genocide is happening, they can say that that's anti-Semitic. They can just swoop that all in here. Just so yeah, that's what you get to do when you have the pen and you're in power. But yeah, so I was just going with blue stars over here. Girl, no one can, yeah. Chilling and working on my computer. Right on. I wonder if Bose watched previous seasons. That's what we were just wondering too, Amanda. The way she's cozying up to Dorito. Dorito's not traditionally ultra interesting or anything. She's fashionable, but she's, yeah, I don't know. She's not really like a giving person. She kind of feels self-absorbed. Maybe that's why her and Bose are getting along so good right now, because Bose hasn't tried to talk back or interject much. We did get the little story about how her and her husband were separated. And then she became a widow before the divorce happened. And so we did get that much out of Bose within a conversation with Dorito, but pretty much Dorito likes to talk in the whole time is what I've seen with Bose. So maybe we'll see that become a subject later. Victoria was getting Larsa. Yes, Victoria was like, spandex much? She's like, what do you mean I don't know how to dress? You're the one that doesn't know how to dress. I mean, literally everything Larsa brought to wear at the House of Villains was spandex, you guys. Every single thing. Spandex unitards. Every single thing she wears is a spandex unitard. And she'll wear it with a cape. She'll wear it with, it's spandex unitards all day. Different colors. Some have rhinestones. Some have stripes. Okay. So Larsa, Victoria was telling the truth. I thought Victoria looked cute. Okay. I love New York so much. Yeah. I need to see her back on my screen. Curves, I'm so disgusted seeing brothers and sisters online labeling Garcelle as a villain. Me too, Mel. How can they even say that after this election, right? I'm totally disappointed. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, look, we need to be supporting each other right now, especially with all the infiltrators everywhere. We need to be supporting each other. Our people are so lost, Mademoiselle says. They don't even know their history to go against their own right. It's sad. Black people will find out what time it is when Trump gets back in office. That's what I'm saying. Dorito is boring. I'll never forget Dorit co-signing on the inhumane treatment of Garcelle and her kids, laughing. They were all having a good kiki. That's another reason God don't like ugly and very little pretty. Look at how those fuckers blew up. Look, 3 years later, 3 years after laughing at the abuse of Garcelle's melanated sons and laughing at her pictures from Playboy being sent to her fucking sons by the lip lickers bots, allegedly. And the lip licker is Diana, for those who don't know, the one who's not on the show anymore. Remember, because all that happened when Diana was on the show. Was that 3 episodes ago? Was that 3 seasons ago or 4 seasons ago? Anyway, during all of that time, right? Doing that to her minor children, and they didn't give a fuck. Every time they brought up what happened to Garcelle's children, they would finish it with, oh, and Kyle's children this, because they couldn't let that black woman have nothing. Yep. Troll farms. Yeah, and I don't think Garcelle needs to have anything for Dorito. I had just reposted the other day the clip of why Garcelle doesn't need to have anything for Dorito. Because when Dorito was saying that she was being attacked by Garcelle, when all Garcelle did was talk in a conversation. Yeah. And then I'd love to have it, and she was still had her little accent during that time. That little fur climp shit is gone this season. Mm-hmm. Larsa's old face doesn't resemble how she looks now. Nope, she doesn't. I would never wear what Larsa wears. It's trashy, right? Very trashy. And another thing is like her. Think about all these women. They have daughters that are looking up to them. They have other females that are looking up to them. They have, they're semi role models in a way. And I mean, the amount of moms gone wild that we're seeing in the way these women dress is like a lot. Now, this is coming from me. I have 44 double H boobs going on over here, and I got in every place I ever needed to get in with my cleavage. I'm telling you, from a woman who went from cleavage to like a nice little, like you can only see the little top thing. Okay. So I'm saying that there is definitely a time in life where you just, something in your mind just is like, okay, you're either married and it's for your husband, and you don't, I mean, who are you really trying to, is there a club for me to get into? You know what I'm saying? Whose attention am I really looking for? Like, I mean, you like have these self-reflective moments as you grow in age. And so your aesthetic will alter based on that self-reflection and that natural evolution of yourself. And I'm like still sexy as heck. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have to have my cleavage out all the time. Plus, I'm not trying to get in these clubs like that. But I bet I could still. I still could if I wanted to. But anyway, yeah, but there's a time and a place. It doesn't have to be all the time over the top, spandex Larsa. That's what they did is sit there and laugh. But Garcelle is better than me because I would have too much to say. And Kyle either, right? That's exactly what I was saying. I wonder if Bose watched the show. And that's what I don't think, to me, we're going to have to see if in her first interview, I'm looking forward to getting to know Bose, to know whether or not she watched the show. Because like I'm saying, I think she might not have had time, and perhaps is coming in on some, I'm going to get to know these women on my own tips, because she warmed up to Dorit right away. Because I would have just passed Dorit and went to Garcelle, except for Garcelle was running late. But I would have made my way away from Dorit over to Garcelle. Hey son, I'm live. You need tape? Yeah. I had to hide all the tape because here it is. I had to hide all the tape because I was using it to put up decorations and stuff. And I was like, why does all these boys have the tape that I just bought out? Yeah. Garcelle is better than me. Yep. That's exactly what I was saying. I wonder if she watched. We're going to have to find out. I wish you would play the last 10 seconds of the sneak peek. Let me see if I can find it. I'll go to my YouTube and say sneak peek. Or just go to Bravo. Bravo TV. Okay, I'm looking. Sneak peek. RHOBH. Sneak peek. Oh, thanks, son. Ooh, can I have a little piece? Yeah. Okay. Go out of here. That was fun. Oh, that's so good. I want one. Oh, wow. That's my Chef Boyardee baby. For whatever reason you treat me a certain way, there's two sets of rules. God forbid if I don't have absolute blind loyalty, and I mean blind to a fault, you're okay to make little comments. Okay, so I can only let it play 10 seconds without saying something, or they'll strike me. So that is the activated Dorito that I was saying that I appreciate getting at Kyle. But you're saying the last 10 seconds.
Apology because you just, Kyle, I'm very, very happy to own whenever I ever have done something, ever, and you said, Dorit, this hurt me. I don't first thing, I'm so sorry, Kyle. No. Oh my God, I would never. Pardon?
Oh, so this is what you were getting ready to talk about? Let me make it big. So that was Garcelle you heard say no.
No what?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
You wouldn't
With
agree?
what she was saying in terms of like, you can't just say you're sorry.
You wouldn't
With
agree?
what she was.
Okay.
Feel like you ever want to own anything that you really do, and it always comes with this like fake apology because you just.
Well, it's interesting that Kyle can call out Dorito and her fake apologies because I feel like Kyle gives a lot of those too. I don't feel like Kyle's ever really sorry.
Kyle, I'm very, very happy to own whenever I ever have done something, ever, and you said, Dorit, this hurt me. I don't. The first thing, I'm so sorry, Kyle.
No.
So that was Dorito saying that she owns everything. Because you know she still talks to Lisa Rinna. Her and Lisa Rinna still talk a lot. And so I guess she thinks she owns it because she still talks to Lisa Rinna. But us viewers know that she doesn't own shit. Zero accountability over there. But I like that she was holding Kyle accountable. Now let's listen.
God, I would never. Pardon?
Okay.
The first thing, I'm so sorry, Kyle.
No.
Oh my God, I would never. Pardon?
No.
No what?
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
You wouldn't agree?
So she wouldn't agree with Dorito, and we don't agree with her with Dorito either.
Saying in terms of like, you can't just say you're sorry.
You don't agree
I agree that you don't do that.
that I don't say I'm sorry.
Yes.
She doesn't say she's sorry. Even when PK was saying how you talk to me, she didn't say, "Oh babe, I'm sorry about it," or nothing like that.
I'm not surprised that you agree with that. And let's be honest.
Okay, good.
I'm not your favorite person. You're very clear about that. I wouldn't expect you to actually.
So what she's referring to is the situation that I had just mentioned, where last year Dorito was being Karen, and we got what we got with her and Garcelle. And she never at any time during that just owned and left it at, I'm sorry. It was like a roundabout way of, you need to see where I'm coming from too. And I don't think that, and I'm sorry if. Those aren't real sorries.
Not agree with what she has to say.
Okay, great. Then we're on the same page.
Okay, we are.
Beautiful.
So that was the end of it, you guys. Yeah. And that, so I see what you're saying with that, Mademoiselle. Look. And that is one thing on these shows where you have mixed casts. The things that would never get said to other people, it's like they'll take time to try to correct the, like she was literally in it with Kyle. All Garcelle said was no. I'm sure somebody else said no too. But she decided to go double back and address what Garcelle was saying because Garcelle needs to be put in her place. Okay? Okay? Because it's Dorito who is still mad at Garcelle for calling her out about being a Karen last season. Yeah, thanks. Calling her out about being a Karen last season, I think. Let's see. Okay, so I played the last 10 seconds. Bose is up Doritos' butt, which is sick. I hope it's not a thing. I hope she wises up. Me too. I'm glad I left America. Oh, I need to come visit. They better not try having Bose and Dorit compete with Garcelle and Sutton. That's what I'm saying. They could never. What? Watch the way Dorit is peering at Gar. Yeah, she's really upset about this black lady having her own opinion that's not gaslit by Dorit's opinion. All you have to do is hit pause at the end and see how Dorit is glaring at her like she wants to do something to Garcelle. I'm glad Garcelle didn't let Dorit activate her. That's what I'm saying. I love that Garcelle remains the melanated goddess who doesn't let you take her there. I'm here for it. I'm here for it because I can get a little hyphy. I'm from Oakland. I get hyphy quick. I pop off. I'm sorry, not sorry. That's just my personality. So I appreciate the opposite of that because sometimes I need to be like Garcelle sometimes. Like popping off doesn't get you everything you always want. It doesn't. I'm going to tell you that. It doesn't give you everything you always want. Okay. So yeah, but I'm here for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Yo, see, that's what's up. She said Dorit would take me there, but I know her kind because I'm from Connecticut, right? Okay, let's go over to Real Housewives of New York real quick. I don't want to keep us too much longer. Real Housewives of New York. We don't have a lot to say. I feel like those bitches are fake, even though I like some of the bitches. Erin is the fakest one, though. I feel like now twice I've seen Erin in a situation that's made up, like where she's not being really real, like she's trying to do something for us for TV, you know? And this whole thing with Uba is a situation like that. Why are you walking around telling everybody that will listen that Uba is attacking you and coming after you? That's some very Dorito shit, bitch. That's some very Dorito behavior, walking around saying this black woman's attacking you, coming after you. Why are you up here saying that? Why? Erin, City Girl, Sex in the City Girl. Why are you saying that? And then for Brynn to constantly be teaming up with Erin, and now they're going to make sure Brynn is like, I'll take up for you. I'll have your back always against Uba. Even though you know that Erin's up here lying on Uba the way that Erin just lied on you and said that you weren't in on the prank that you were in on. A lot of fakery McFakerson is going on in New York. It might be because they have so many rats and roaches that they really don't know how to act. But yeah. What else is happening over there? Sai stepped on glass. I like Sai's backyard. I like Raquel's bridal shower. That was cute. I think Raquel's wife is hot. She makes a hot dude. And I like their little, gender bender party thing where they had people come for, what was it, Pose? What was it called? Damn, I call it Pose. That was the name of the series. Vogue. Was it Vogue? They were doing the Vogue, the runway, the thing that, the culture of dressing up like somebody and doing stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much Real Housewives of New York. Erin's boring and a liar. Brynn is boring and embellisher and a liar. And then she tries to humanize herself in the middle of all of it with the story of sexual assault. And then she's like, the first time I could make a dick joke again, I knew I was better. That I was like, okay. Do they do a PSA at the end of the episode? If you or anybody you've known is a victim of a sexual assault, did they do that at the end of the episode? I don't think so. Who else is in the episode? Jessel. Jessel is so literal in everything she does. She's just so literal. It's kind of quirky. I can kind of like it, but I like her husband more. I don't know why. But I'm here for him. He's hilarious to me. Now let's go over to Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City. Angie. Now I know Mary's praying for you, girl, because you read that Brittany girl up one side and down the other. She had bedhead on the first side and she was a slut coming down the other. And then Whitney said 3 words too loud and she was like, Whitney, you're there too with that bump it. And I was looking at that bump it she had on her head too. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Why would she have put that on her head? Who let her leave the house like that? Did she not pay her stylist the raise they asked for? Because that looked atrocious, Whitney. That looked atrocious. Okay? But Angie, I was here for the reads, but I was not here for the dick of it all in the middle of the bat mitzvah. Okay? I was here for Mary being late and peering in the window. I was not here for people sitting there laughing at her instead of just coming and being like, oh, it's over here. Even though she finally found her way in. Bronwyn. I'm having mixed feelings about Bronwyn, people. At first, I like her. And then when she immediately went back over there and told Angie K that Brittany called her a slut too. Hey, well, that did get it popping. That did get it popping. All in the it got her off of telling you that you were a dick writer 2 weeks ago. And so you had little room to talk about anything in anybody's language. And you definitely weren't going to be chastising her on her language. Because she had to ride everybody needs to ride your dick 2 weeks ago, Bronwyn. So then Todd hears the word dick around his wife again, and he immediately comes up and he's like, no, bitch, you're not about to sit here and do this to me again on camera. And took her politely off to the side. And it did look like he was making Angie, it did look like he was apologizing for his wife's behavior. High body count here. That's what it was. Yes, Salt Lake City is here. I love the Salt Lake City of it. But I'm not liking Heather. What is Heather doing? Somebody said in the comments she was letting all of her surgeries settle this season, and so she's not saying much or doing much. High body count here was hilarious. Yes. But you know what? Angie brought that on herself. Angie brought all of that on herself. How are you slut shaming, repeating back to her that she has 10 guys in rotation and 3 serious people? How is Angie the bad person for repeating that? And that is how Brittany made it sound like she was doing a Sex in the City rotation. And you know, Sex in the City is called Sex in the City because they're having sex. Every dating website that Brittany named is known for smash and hookups. I don't know anybody who's had a serious relationship off of Tinder or the Bumble thing that she was looking on. She needs to get on eHarmony if she wants a serious relationship. What about eHarmony? But no, Brittany's on these hit 'em and quit 'em dating websites. Said she had 10 guys in rotation. Said she has 3 serious ones. But now Angie needs to get kicked out of the bat mitzvah. 50-year later bat mitzvah. Or 40 years. 40-year later bat mitzvah. She needs to get kicked out because she repeated to her what she said. And then Angie brought it on herself again because she really did sit her ass out on that patio and repeat to other people that, oh, and I was so offended when Angie said that, trying to be a victim. But then you had to throw in your own shade, Brittany, and you said, well, she must be saying it because she's a slut too. Oh, bitch. She'd been married for 30 years and she was in the convent the other 10. So that was not the right person to say that to. She said, I'm dressed like a classy mom. Everything about you looks like slut. Everything about you reads mattress, hun. And you know Angie can drag a bitch because she's a hairstylist. And they do it all day as soon as their last client left. Mm-hmm. Yep. Definitely need to thank Bronwyn for this whole high body count thing. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Bronwyn brought it. She was like, you're not going to have your foot on my neck all night, Angie. Here, you're going to get some too, Brittany. And then came back in her confessional. And she's like, no, I tried for 5 minutes, Brittany. It was too long. It was too long. That was hilarious. Meredith, and her bat mitzvah. Am I supposed to say mazel? To that. But kicking Angie out was too far. Did you notice that when Mary was talking to Meredith's relatives, the way they were looking at her and they were kind of like glaring at her? I bet Meredith had filled their ear full of stuff about how the black lady had the nerve to kick her out of her house after she was the only reason the black lady was on the thing last year, and and all she's done to help this outcast black woman when everybody else was coming for her church, calling it a cult. I never said it out loud. Can you imagine what she would have had to have told those people to her mother who looked nothing like her? So I was like, oh my God, when Mary said to her mom, oh my God, you're Meredith's mom, you look just like her. And her mom said, I do. She said, uh-huh. She knew she was, but I bet Mary knows, like she would probably say something like, oh yeah, it's in the eyes. If you could see them, because she had Lisa Hochstein cheek implants and she did not look nothing like her mother. I'm like, was Meredith adopted? That's literally what I thought looking at that lady. I literally thought that lady was a Chinese lady. I'm sorry. I thought she was some type of Asian lady. And I thought to myself, is Meredith adopted? Because I did not think they looked anything alike. But if Mary can see it, then it must be there. Because Mary isn't like a liar. She's not a liar, pants on fire. So if she said, oh yeah, then maybe she sees something in her that looks just like Meredith, but she did not look like her to me. But yeah, I did notice that the people didn't treat her like nice, or maybe it was because she was late to their daughter or sister's event or something. I don't know. Meredith calling security reminds me of Giselle when she calls security, right? There's a security in every franchise, okay? Where was Meredith when Jenny Wynn threw the glass at Mary? She was right upstairs and didn't go after Mary, even though that was her good friend. She didn't go after Mary to check on her, not in real time that we saw, unless they left it on the editing room floor. But we only heard the cameraman's footsteps in the hallway after Mary when she left from having that glass thrown at her, that tumbler thrown at her by the angry Vietnamese lady that was Jenny Wynn. Yep. No one went after Mary. No one questioned Jenny. Nothing. It was disgusting. Disgusting. And that's just where we are with our allies. I could take it there, but I won't. It's Sunday. Happy Sunday, you all. And that's pretty much it for my recap of the Housewives Roundup. We had Real Housewives of Potomac. Looking forward to it again tonight. Looking forward to Married to Medicine. Also, I love me some Married to Medicine. Thanks, son. Looking forward to all of that. And that's my little chef. He made me some little breakfast thing. Yeah. And we went over Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I'm here for an activated Dorit, but don't necessarily care for Dorito. Real Housewives of New York. It seems like there's a lot of fakery McFeckerson going on in New York. Are they playing? I mean, I'm not sure why this reboot has to feel so fake. I'm not sure. Are they punishing us for adding so many people of color? I don't know. But who's serving it this season all the way? Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm here for any moment with Mary Cosby. I'm here for a lot of moments with Angie K. And I'm here for a lot of moments with Bronwyn so far. I'm here for them. So we're going to see how much more we get from the ladies this season. As I always say, this is all for entertainment, allegedly, in my opinion. I know I'm sarcastic. I know I'm snarky, but I know it takes a lot of courage for all of these women to share any portion of their reality with us. So kudos to all of the casts on all the franchise for that. And smash the like button on the way out. Smash the subscribe button and ring the bell so you can get notified. And I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Yeah, he is so cute. I love him. That's my little squirrel. I love him. He loves me to the moon and back, you guys. And I love you guys. Make it a great day. Remember, there's enough to go around. So go get some. Peace.